In this video, we'll be talking about three rules for taking the derivatives. That's the sum rule, the difference rule, and the constant multiple rule. So let's start with the sum rule. And the sum rule says, suppose we have two functions, f of x and g of x, that are both differentiable. If we want to take the derivative of f of x plus g of x, we simply take the derivative of f of x and add it to the derivative of g of x. So let's look at an example. If we had the derivative of x to the fourth plus x squared, we can take the derivative of x to the fourth plus the derivative of x squared. And that gives us 4 times x to the 4 minus 1 power plus 2 times x to the 2 minus 1 power, and that equals 4x to the third plus 2x to the first power. Now let's take a look at the difference rule, which is very similar to the sum rule, except it's with the difference of two functions. So again, we have two functions, f of x and g of x, that are both differentiable. If we want to take the derivative of their difference, we simply take the derivative of each function. So the derivative of f of x, and then we subtract the derivative of g of x. And an example of this is going to be x to the fifth minus x to the third. If I want to take the derivative of that, I can take the derivative of x to the fifth and then subtract the derivative of x cubed. And that gives me 5 times x to the 5 minus 1 power minus 3 times x to the 3 minus 1 power. And simplifying, we get 5x to the fourth minus 3x squared. The last rule is the constant multiple rule. And the constant multiple rule says if we have a function that is differentiable, so f of x is differentiable, and it's multiplied by a constant, k, so we have k times f of x, we can just pull the constant out and take the derivative of the function and then multiply the two. So let's look at a quick example. If I want to take the derivative of, let's say, 3x to the fourth, I can pull the 3 out front and then take the derivative of x to the fourth. And that gives me 3 times 4x to the 4 minus 1 power, which is equal to 3 times 4x to the third, or in other words, 12x to the third. Now these three rules, the sum rule, the difference rule, and the constant multiple rule, basically allow us to take the derivative of any polynomial function. So if I want to take the derivative of 3x squared minus 7x plus 5, I can rewrite that as the derivative of 3x squared minus the derivative of 7x plus the derivative of 5. And I can use the constant multiple rule to pull the 3 out front. So I have 3 times the derivative of x squared minus 7 times the derivative of x plus the derivative of 5. And that gives me 3 times 2x to the first power minus 7 times the derivative of x is just 1, and then plus the derivative of 5, which is just 0. And so simplifying, I get 6x to the first minus 7.